Good morning. It's 8 a.m. over here. In the last few hours of yesterday, June 18th, and apparently in the early morning hours of June 19th over in the UK, there was a collision in Finsbury Park in London, which has been stated to have resulted in multiple casualties. The suspect was described as a 48-year-old male, and a witness claimed to have heard the person, upon exiting their vehicle, proclaim that they wanted to kill Muslims. So they won't specify, the news sources coming out of there, how many are dead. They just keep saying several casualties. There have been plenty of injuries, though, that I can report. I think it was about 10. Just remembering that number off the top of my head. Now, the Prime Minister, May or whatever, she is saying her thoughts are with the victims, and you had some other viewpoints come out of there. So here's something important to take away, because I was looking at the reaction of the people around me to this, who also saw the London Bridge thing happen, as well as there was some other attack. But they got this idea in their heads that this is now suddenly an area that's dangerous, and don't go to London, don't go to London. No, London is, I think, in my view, on a day to day basis, still a fine place to go. You just have to acknowledge that there's that, occasional or once in a blue moon attack, because we've gone years in that city without seeing anything like this happen. If I remember correctly, the last one was in 2005. Um, so, don't build any misconceptions in your mind. It's nothing to be concerned about on a day to day basis. When we had 9/11, I didn't remember people saying don't go to New York anymore. And that was a result of people with bad intentions getting a hold of equipment that made them more powerful than they should have been. But nonetheless, we have to look beyond a single period in a city and really determine if, on a day to day basis, that's a good place to be. And I'm going to say that London still is somewhere that is desirable, and that we shouldn't, I don't want to call it discrimination, but we should not go out of our way to not go to due to a fear of terrorism. You can get anywhere else. Yes, they've seen a couple of incidents back to back, but it could have been anywhere else, and it's still not day to day. And really, it seems as if, as long as you don't get in big crowds and just live your life on a day to day basis with kind of a precaution, which I think most of us do, you should be all right. Now, the other thing to take away from this, and this always gets on my nerves. Okay, I'm prime minister. What am I going to do? Make sure that all the victims are, able to be identified by the morgue, and make sure that, their funeral costs are paid off, and make sure that the people who survived are treated with the best of care. That's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to tell you my thoughts are with you. What does that do? And I know I've had videos in the past where I go, my heart goes out to yeah, you feel bad for what happened, but you're not in a position of power. Most of us will probably never hold a position of power in Congress or in office or any of that. We're just human beings expressing our sympathies. Now, a lot of us tend to end up being more effective than our government leader, whether it be the president over here or the prime minister over there, because we'll say to ourselves, well, we need to start some fundraiser to make sure this family doesn't have to lose cash in addition to losing a loved one. And that appears to be more than what any of these foreign leaders, are the ones over here as well. I didn't forget about Trump for 1 minute, are willing to do. This just happened a few hours ago. I keep wanting to call it an event that took place on the 18th, but it was the, oh my God, whatever. So it was the 18th over here, 19th over there. Um, and now it's the 19th today. You really have to get past this idea that you're going to get assistance from the government on any of this stuff, because what we've seen in every country in all these different terrorist attacks, it's usually the cops that get involved and the people who end up saving themselves ahead of time by running away and making sure that they don't end up getting caught in the crossfire of any more wickedness that these individuals involved may choose to inflict. So, the bottom line is that we have to take care of ourselves, stop trying to make London out to be some city of horror when it really isn't. I know that it's not. And just watch out, because your leaders, your government figures, they won't do anything for you, and that's a sad reality.